Chapter 1 of Dracula opens with Jonathan Harker's journal. On May 3rd, he describes his journey to Transylvania. He adds notes from his studies of the region and reports having odd dreams. After breakfast, he travels through a beautiful countryside to a hotel in Bistritz. There, a letter from Count Dracula with travel instructions to his castle awaits him. On May 4th, the landlord pretends to not understand his German and avoids his questions about Dracula. He and his wife cross themselves at the Count's name. Before Harker leaves, the landlady urges him not to go. She offers him her rosary with a crucifix. Feeling uneasy, he leaves. On May 5th, before leaving, the driver and landlady look disturbed. Harker picks up words like dog, Satan, and Drolok, werewolf or vampire. He decides he will ask Dracula about local superstitions. Harker takes a coach to Borgo Pass, where villagers press small gifts and blessings on him. The horses become frantic, and the people cry out as a carriage drawn by black horses arrives. The driver is hard to see, but his eyes seem to glow, and his red lips frame sharp, white teeth. The driver is remarkably strong and easily moves Harker's luggage from the coach to carriage. They race away into the forest, where they hear wolves howling. Harker and the horses are fearful, but the driver is untroubled. He repeatedly stops and leaves the carriage to place stones around places where blue flames appear. Flames Harker can see even when the driver stands between him and them. Finally, the driver walks far away from the carriage and the wolves move in. As Harker yells and beats the carriage side to scare them away, the driver appears out of nowhere. He speaks in a commanding voice, scattering the wolves. Clouds hide the moon, and the carriage sweeps on through the night towards an old castle, Castle Dracula. Harker keeps his journal in shorthand and sometimes writes in incomplete sentences. The result is a feeling of immediacy and business-like attention. The tone is realistic, thusly. Victorian readers were familiar with travel literature, which describes scenery and travel routes, typically. The way the people and community act stands in sharp contrast to the normal feel. Harker's comments on the people's clothing and well-being point to Western attitudes. Eastern superstition and Western rationality jostle uncomfortably here and in many chapters. It is spring, and his descriptions of nature contrast sharply with the town's Gothic scenery. The closer they draw to the castle, the deeper the darkness, and the greater Harker's fear. His notes transition from an everyday business to a more mysterious tone. He has no idea what he is going into, making the build-up all the more suspenseful.